All right, and welcome back to Crossroads Live. I have the honor of sitting here with Susannah Cord, Mrs. Alex Cord. All right. Welcome to Crossroads Live, my friend.
Thank you.
And it's good to have you back.
Good to be back.
I haven't seen you in, what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it's been my loss. You know? But anyway, it's good to have you back. You've got a couple of great books that here, and I keep hearing about this one because I think a couple of my friends have it for their children.
Yes.
And they keep talking. You want to tell me a little bit about this book?
Sure. That's Fenella, A Fable of a Fairy, Afraid to Fly. And it's a book that came out of me telling bedtime stories to my niece too many years ago to tell now.
Uh-oh.
Yes, it's quite frightening when you think about that. I wrote that for a 4-year-old girl, and she's now a almost grown woman, but I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But,
so we're not telling ages, right?
No, no telling ages.
No telling
And
ages.
if we do, you start.
Oh, well, I think the whole world knows how old I am now. I mean, all you got to do is look at Facebook. You know, it's all over.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Can't hide anything anymore.
Yeah, I can't hide anything. Yeah.
No, but that was a book that I wrote for my niece, and you know, little by little, it just all kind of came together with the illustrations. I found a wonderful illustrator, and now it's a book, and it's an audio CD.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
yeah.
I teamed up with musician Dave Alexander, who's best known for his Texas Swing Band. And we recorded the book, and he recorded some beautiful music that goes with the book.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
It should be great.
Yeah, quite proud of it.
Can folks get this on Amazon?
They sure can.
They can.
And on Kindle and all the usual.
All the usual
Yes.
places, but Amazon, everybody knows Amazon.
Yes, it's on Amazon, both for electronic and for print books.
There you go. All
Yes.
right. That's good. So how many years ago did you write this book?
Well, that would have been a good 12, 14 years ago,
12,
but it took
14
me about 10 years to get to the point where it
So
actually
you were about
published.
8 years old when this
Yes,
was-
that's right. That's right.
what
I was a
thought.
very young aunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so before you were here, a lot of people, it's been a while, so I think I want to, you gave one of the funniest lines on this show.
I did.
You did, that I ever heard. And I asked you to tell me how you met Mr. Cord, and you said to me, he stalked me. You remember that?
Yes,
I
now
was
I
paying
do.
attention. Can you tell?
I'm impressed.
And you said that he stalked me. You want to just quickly recap that little story
Yeah,
for the
sure,
folks?
sure. Well, I was working for a horse trainer out in Los Angeles, and across the street was the barn where Alex kept his horses. And unbeknownst to me, at one point, he apparently spotted me out there walking horses, and he liked the way I walked. But he was a little concerned as to, you know, how the rest would show up close. So he started bringing his African safari binoculars to the barn, and he would hide behind whatever was convenient when he spotted me, and he'd look at me through binoculars. And it's actually kind of creepy, you know, when I tell it like that, but it was...
It does, but his intentions were good.
I don't know if he intended to marry me, but that's the way it ended up. So I always felt that we missed out on a huge opportunity, you know, when we got married, because we should have called the Inquirer so that we could have been front page news, and it would have said, I married my stalker. And that was a pet dream of mine that hasn't come true. Yeah, it's sad, really.
I love the story.
Quite sad.
I love the story. So where is actually home for you?
Well, I was born in Denmark.
Denmark,
yes. But then I grew up, my father worked for the Danish government for foreign aid work. So we traveled, we lived in Africa, we lived in Kenya and Zimbabwe, and we'd go back to Denmark in between. So I don't really have a very complete sense of home.
Yeah. Well, Texas should be by now.
Yes, I've been here long enough.
You've been long here in Texas for a while.
Yeah.
And I did an interview with Robert Fuller
Yes.
And he was telling me that it was you and Alex that brought him to Texas. So
That's right. We're to blame.
you're to blame. You're to blame.
We're to blame.
He seemed quite happy being here. So yeah.
No, I think we did a good thing, and he and his wife, me and Alex,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bob's wife, we're very close, Jennifer and I.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I hear. That's what I hear.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit about this other book.
Ah, yes,
there.
my other book, Seeds of Change. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the honors?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Let me do the honors
Yes.
here and turn this around
And,
here and let the folks get a shot of this.
And that is a book of essays and photography from a riding safari in Kenya that I went on twice. And actually, I'd go every 6 months if I could. It's just a phenomenal experience. But the first time I went was the first time that I went back to Kenya and to Africa in a very long time, 20, 30 years. And it was just a phenomenal kind of inside-outside experience.
Yeah.
And I ended up writing about it, and it became this book, which is sort of a short version of the full-length book, which is called Each Wind That Blows, and that will be out sometime this summer on Kindle
wonderful.
and in print. Yes.
Yeah, and you have horses. Tell me
Yes.
about your horses.
Oh gosh, we have an eclectic mix of horses. I was a horse trainer since, well, my early 20s, but I've always ridden, and so at this point we have quite a mix. We've got quarter horse, we've got draft cross, a warm blood, and a couple of Lusitanos, which are like the Portuguese bullfighting horses.
Yeah.
But we don't do bullfighting. I don't bullfight. No. I do dressage. I ride English, as people would say.
Oh, do you?
So
you saddle?
yes, I do. I do. And people think I'm a weenie, but when people think I'm a weenie for riding English, I usually ask if they've
Well,
jumped a 4-foot
that's-
fence in a small
that is a
saddle lately.
That is a personal choice, right?
Oh, sure.
The way
Sure.
you want to ride. You see me, I'm still working on becoming Gene Archery.
Yeah, there
So
you
I have
go.
I have
Yeah,
a Western
yeah,
saddle,
yeah,
right?
there you go.
And wait a minute, my friend Cheryl Rogers is here. I better say Roy Rogers.
You better get it straight.
But when I grew up, my heroes, Roy and Gene,
Yes, of course.
and I always wanted to be a cowboy,
Yep, of
and I'm
course.
still working on it.
Well,
There
it's
you
a
go.
lifelong ambition. Yeah, it's a good thing
Well,
to have.
I have my one horse. I have she's part Appaloosa and part Arabian.
I don't believe I would have told that on myself.
You wouldn't have. Well, she's a beautiful horse. And
I'm
she's
sure
fast,
she is.
And she's great in the rodeo. And she
I
runs
bet
them
she
barrels,
is.
and she is quick. She's quick, and I can show you pictures.
I'd love to see them.
Yeah, but no, she's very fast and very beautiful, and everybody loves Becca.
Yeah.
And I did a movie once, and
Was she
she
in
threw
it?
me
Oh.
in the movie, but it wasn't actually supposed to be. Anyway,
Oh.
it happened. But so anyway, you want to read a little portion from your book?
I'd love to.
Oh, I'd love to have it. You want me to
I'd
hold the
love to.
microphone, or
Oh, no,
Can
I
you do it
think
that
I
way?
can manage, yes. All right, so this was one of our, there's a lot of different kinds of experiences on a riding safari like this. It could be scary, it can be fun, it could be exciting, and this one had a little bit of everything. And I call this little piece The Crossing. We haven't been in the saddle but 5 minutes, just long enough to get comfortable, if not familiar, with horses we have just met, when we're face to face with the Mara River, swollen with rain, hippos, and all that might lurk in its muddy waters. Tristan, which is our guide, has decided our introductory ride shall cross the river and take in the territory across from our camp. There are a lot of big eyes and gulping Adam apples after this announcement, but we all follow meekly, trustingly. After all, he has been doing this a long time and knows his rivers and horses, even if we do not. We pause at the bank of the rushing river, Tristan calmly surveying the landscape. He gives us the lowdown on how to navigate the water, the do's and don'ts. Then, "Oh, look," he says happily, and points to the opposite bank where we are headed. A 10-foot crocodile is sunning itself on the muddy bank. "That's where we're going. Just aim for the crocodile." He grins a wicked grin and plunges into the river. This man sure knows how to break the ice. He pauses to survey the scene once more, water lapping at his mare's knees. The riders behind him hesitate. "What about the crocodile?" someone asks in a small voice. "Oh, don't worry about the croc," says Tristan confidently. "I can't see him now." Sure enough, the croc has vanished. Gone where? Asks the little voice. Tristan doesn't answer. He aims his horse for the opposite shore. I giggle. I can't help it. I am feeling ridiculously calm and trusting. If Tristan says, somewhere I recognize my folly, this blind trust. But what the hell? When in Africa. I ride in, rehearsing the instructions. Lots of right rein, left leg. Don't be swept down river into the pod of hippos. They don't take kindly to pod crashers. Hang on to neck strap so we don't abuse the mouth of our horse if he starts leaping through water. Try not to fall off if he does. And if we do, hang on to our horse, but not his mouth, at all cost. That kind of thing.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. And these books can be picked up on Amazon
and Blurb.
All right. So what I want to say is thank you so much for taking this time to spend with us, read from your book, tell your wonderful stories, and gosh, you've been on quite a journey, lady.
I have. Thank you very much.
Very much. And I really appreciate you and your husband.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you later at the Crossroads, and we'll be right back.
Today, I'm out here with my pal Danny Boy, and we have a message for you from the American Lung Association. If you don't smoke, don't start. And if you do smoke, find a way to stop. Now, we know that it's not easy, so check with your doctor. He'll be the first one who'll be glad to help show you the way. Now, for a better quality of life and a longer life, stop smoking today. So, for me and Danny, to all of you, good luck, God bless, and here's hoping we see you at the Crossroads.
All right, and welcome to Crossroads Live. My name is Jim Hoffbar, and I'm sitting here with a fella who I happened to meet last night, and
you might get in trouble over that, you know that?
Well, wait a minute. That don't sound right, does it? Well, actually, why don't you tell the folks who you are and what you do?
My name is Marshall Teague, and I'm an actor. And I've been in the acting business now for 36 years. 36
years. What was your first movie?
First movie was actually doing a little stunt bit on a television show called Remember the movie Breaking Away? Dennis Quaid years ago?
Yes, yes.
Well, they started a TV series on it, and I actually got on there by hook or crook.
Yeah.
Because I knew some people, and they said, "Come on down and this was the cinematographer. Brienne Murphy was the first female cinematographer in the union, and she said, just tell everybody you're my cousin." I said, "Okay, fine. I'll tell them you're my cousin." It was, by the way, you're going to be doing the stunts for this. Great. What am I going to be doing? Falling off of that cliff. Terrific.
Yeah. And you didn't get hurt?
No, I didn't get hurt. I hit the water pretty hard. I didn't realize that water could burn that much, but it did.
Yeah.
Ended up getting a role, and I played the first local heavy.
Yeah.
And had a great time from there. Went from that to Topper, which was a remake of I think the 1940s series.
The movie, the TV show. Yeah. Yeah.
My first speaking role was with Jack Warden.
I remember him.
Yeah, an Academy Award-winning actor. That was my first speaking role, and I had to do it with an Academy Award-winning actor. I have never been more frightened in my life.
Yeah, that would put a little pressure on you.
Just a little bit of pressure, you know. Yeah. But he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was pacing the floor and trying to remember my lines, and he walked up to me and he said, "Hey, are you nervous?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, name's Jack, not sir." That was my dad's name. I said, "Okay."
Well, that happened to me. That happened to me with Peter Fonda.
Really?
Yeah, I was in this movie. I was talking to Alex about it a while ago, called Painted Hero. Mm-hmm. And Peter was there. And, of course, I had so much respect for his father, right? And so they're introducing me to Peter Fonda. And I went, "It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Fonda." And he goes, "That's my daddy's name, Mr. Fonda. My name is Peter."
Yeah.
You know, so,
same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, Jack took me aside, and he said, "Do you smoke cigars?" I said, "No." "Here, smoke a cigar." He said, "Do you drink beer?" I said, "That I do." He said, "Good, drink a beer."
Yeah.
We were sitting there drinking a beer, smoking a cigar. He said, "Okay, let's run the lines." We ran the lines. He said, "You got this. Let's go do it." We walked in there, went flawless. Couldn't have asked for a kinder gentleman. in the world, and that was my first time. And since that, it's been
Yeah. So, yeah, to work with somebody like that, of that caliber.
out of the box, first
Yeah.
out of the box, and then
Yeah.
that was it was a great experience. And over the years, I've worked with, I think, 17 Academy Award winning actors, and all of them have been top
Yeah.
of the heap.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for better. Sean Connery, great.
I would never have thought, because he is such a icon.
Oh, my
you know.
wife fell in love with him. I mean, she's ready to kick me out. You know.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
First time I introduced her to her, I walked up to her, and Mr. Connery, or Sir Sean, I should.
Sir Sean.
We're standing there, and she walks in. She's drooling. She's drooling outside the mouth. He goes, "Charmed, this is your wife?" I said, "Yes, it is my wife. She's lovely. May I dance with her?" I said, "Well, of course." My wife just floated away with her. They were dancing, and I sat in the corner and went, "Man, did I score points today?"
Yeah. Well, it's almost as bad as my story. I came home one time. I did my second interview with Alex Cord, who I admire so much.
I do too.
So I came home, and I'm going, Mr. Cord said this. I called him Mr. Cord. Mr. Cord. My wife looked at me and went, "Would you shut up with the Alex Cord?" You know.
When you like them, you like them.
You
I mean, what are
like
you
'em,
going to
you
do
can't help
with it?
it,
You
yeah.
know, it's just that way.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed. I mean, as far as an actor is concerned, I mean, I've worked with incredible people. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Everybody knows Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And I was the lowest form of life in that. I was the bad guy.
We
I-
remember.
And I fought Patrick Swayze, and Patrick and I did not speak for the first 2 weeks of the movie because we had to do that fight.
Yeah.
First words we ever spoke were the night of that fight on the river,
Really?
and ended up making probably one of the best friends that I ever had, and I miss him dearly.
I bet.
I miss him dearly.
Of course, you worked. We talked last night, and you worked with a fellow I worked with, Ben Gazzara.
You bet.
And I was in the trial of Lee Harvey Oswald with Ben.
Nice man, isn't he?
Yes, he was wonderful. And we had some great times. I didn't get to know him very well, but what I knew of him, I liked, you know.
Incredible actor, always prepared, like Sean Connery, always ready to go to work. When he showed up, you better be ready to shoot because he is ready.
Yeah.
And another story about Mr. Gazzara, I think I mentioned that to you, that when I introduced myself to Mr. Gazzara, I introduced myself as Jimmy Reno, the character. And he never, for years after that, he never once called me by my real name.
Yeah.
Every time I would see him, it was always, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? It's good to see you. This is Jimmy. Have you met Jimmy? This is my friend Jimmy."
Yeah.
And it was just a wonderful relationship to work with such a professional.
Yeah.
And to spend the day, I would go to work just to watch him work
Yeah.
and learn, So those are experiences that I hope that young actors today do that. They will learn from the best.
The one thing about Mr. Gazzara was that I would watch him work, and it looked like he wasn't doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you saw it on camera, it was beautiful. It was like he made the most simple moves,
Right.
and you could you watch his eyes. You could read what he was thinking. He was almost like he projected what he thought.
Well, that's the mark of a great actor.
Yeah,
The eyes are the windows of the world.
yeah,
And to be a good actor, first of all, you have to be a good listener.
Mhm.
And you have to lock with the person you're working with. And if they're for you and if they're with you, the rest of it's just
yeah,
golden.
yeah. It's
all
a
golden.
walk in the park.
It's easy.
Yeah. When you work with that caliber of people, and gosh,
You forget that anybody else is in the room.
yeah, yeah.
It's,
Well, I noticed one. I worked with also in that movie that I worked with Mr. Gazzara was Mr. Lauren Green, and Mr. Green was another one like that. He was so focused on what he was doing. But I'll tell you a story about Mr. Green. He was one of the kindest human beings I ever met. quick story. We were talking, and we were walking out of the courthouse in McKinney, Texas.
Mhm.
We were walking. Little boy walks up. He goes, "Mr. Green, I have a camera. Do you mind if my friend, give it to my friend, and my friend takes a picture with me and you?" And of course, Lauren goes, in that deep voice, going, "Well, of course." And Lauren gets down on his level, and they take the picture. And
That's
then Lauren
terrific.
turns and he looks at the little boy and he goes, "Now, you go get the camera, let your friend come over here and take a picture with me, and you take a picture of us." I thought, that's class.
It is class.
That's class, man.
I'll tell you a story about class. I was doing a movie with Charlton Heston,
Huh.
Original Sin, and he played the old Mafia Dom, and I was the young Mafia Dom, and I was going to take over the business. Well, during a lunch break, we were sitting out having lunch, and somebody brought a note up. We were on this hill up in Beverly Hills, very steep driveway. And his knees were, giving him some trouble, but just a heck of a man. But somebody had brought a note that said that there was a lady down at the bottom of the hill in a wheelchair. And she was just wondering if he would sign that piece of paper and have it sent down to him. He says, "Marshall, let's go take a walk." We walked down to the bottom of that hill, and he sat and talked with that lady, even though they were complaining upstairs that we needed to get back on the set. Talked with that lady, hugged her neck, took a picture with her, signed her little book for her too, and then he said, "Now you and I are going to walk back up that hill, and you're going to be holding on to my arm." It didn't matter. It didn't matter that his knees hurt. It mattered because he said, without those people, without those wonderful people, what reason do we have to do what we do?
Yeah,
He said, they are what make our lives
yeah.
what they are. We get to entertain them. And if we find that one moment in our career where somebody says, "I hated your character," or "I loved your character, it was a beautiful character," if you can get that one time out of your life or out of your career.
Yeah. And I wanted to say this to Alex, and I'll tell him later. He loved Ernie Borgnine. Ernest
Who
Borgnine.
didn't? He was a great guy.
Great guy. And, of course, I didn't know him. But the first time I knew who Ernie Borgnine was, I saw him in From Here to Eternity,
Yeah.
which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
One of mine too.
And so he played that character, Fatso. I hated him.
Everybody
But that's a
hated him.
compliment. That was the true compliment to him as an actor. The fact that I hated him in that role.
He became that character.
Yeah, he was mean.
Yes, he was.
He was mean, man.
But in real life, he was one of the most gentle human beings.
I believe that.
I can tell you for a fact, he was one of the most gentle human beings you ever met.
Yeah. Favorite role, favorite movie.
Well, I'd have to say Roadhouse is probably one of my favorites. The one I released came out in 2012, a movie that really is my heart, and it's called Last Ounce of Courage. And it's I think you can get it on Amazon or something like that. But that movie, I'd say, as far as what it's about each and every one of the people in the world, in this country, and what it stands for. And that, to me, as far as from the heart, I would have to say that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Working with, of course, Patrick, and Roadhouse is one of the dearest movies.
Oh, it's got to be one of the great. And I mentioned his name last night. You know why I keep forgetting his name? And I wanted to bring up the guy that I like so much. I never can remember his name, but he rode the motorcycle. What was his name?
Oh, you're talking about Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. I love that guy, man.
He's great.
Every time I see him in a movie, I want to,
Every woman that hears his voice wants to go out with him. I'm jealous.
Well, he sells a lot of steaks. Have
Sells
you
a
heard
lot
his
of steak.
commercial?
I've heard it sells steaks, trucks. You can pick it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this.
I have too, my friend.
It's been a pleasure.
And I hope your album sells well.
I hope it does too.
What kind of music you singing?
Oh, a little country, a little ballad, and a little rock and roll.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Great deal. And what's the name of the album?
Steps I Took.
And where can they get it?
They can get it on, I think, they can get it on Amazon.
Amazon.
Or they can go on my website, which is Marshall R. Teague. That's a web page, and they can go there and they can order it that way.
All right. Thank you, Marshall.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later on the Crossroads.
Howdy, folks. My name is Jim Hopper, but today I'm out here with Danny Boy, out here at the Crossroads Ranch. My request is this. Have you signed up to be an organ donor? And have you talked this over with your loved ones so that they know your desires? That is a gift that only you and God together can give to those in need. So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go then. So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go then.